a couple.
Here we got our chassis back, the motor, tranny, and all of our parts. So now we just got to put it all together and get it all assembled. Then we can get the cab on it and just keep on rolling.
What are we doing here, Joe?
We are building an exhaust for this. We're going to do basically header, flex, X-pipe to the muffler. Should be sitting approximately about right there. And, you know, just got to make it go where it's got to go. Get everything mocked up here and positioned and see where it's going to be. Back down here. This is an angle finder. You figure out what angle you need to cut it on, and this goes basically swings from 0 to 90, which we have a 90-degree bend. So we need 42 degrees, so we take it to the 42-degree line, well, 42.5-degree line, so we'll go a little past, and then we make a mark. And that's where you cut it. And then we go saw it. And the tubing's in a bind right there, so you have to saw halfway through one side and then halfway through the other side, or it'll grab the blade. Tech tip.
Tech tip.
Deburrs the inside of the tube.
And what were you just saying about how you might have to shorten it?
Oh, basically, once you find your angle that you need, sometimes you have to, you know, get a little tighter to things when we're trying to make this everything fit as close as it can be. So then when you shorten the tube, you would shorten it, I would shorten it, say, 1/4 of an inch, but keep the same plane, and it lifts the pipe higher because you can't really change the angle. So if you needed to raise this up, you would have to cut this same angle, but straight now. And it does get it a little out of the bend, but when you're trying to tuck this stuff up real nice and tight and close, sometimes you have to work with the bend. You know, cut and keep the same angle so your plane's the same, but move it up and down this way. It's not ideal, but it makes it fit in small places. Okay, we back purge the stainless because you want to weld it in an argon atmosphere. That way it doesn't crystallize and like make stalagmites and stuff on the inside. Like if you weld it without back purging, it leaves all kinds of crusties and stuff to break off in the exhaust. If you back purge it, the inside of the weld looks like the outside of the weld because it's a clean gas charged area. It doesn't have regular air going through it that basically will cool the weld, crystallize the weld. So the whole idea for back purging it is to have the same gas on the inside and same atmosphere on the inside as you welding with on the outside.
That's what these caps are, and that's what the tube going in is?
Yep, the tube going in charges it, and it fills the tube full, but there's a hole in each one so it doesn't make pressure. It just charges the inside of there with atmosphere and gets rid of all the dirt and contaminants in the tube. So, works good. If you, one time on camera, we'll weld without it and weld with it and show you what the difference is.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll do like half a tube without it and then half a tube with it, where you can look on the inside and see the difference. Like it's night and day difference, what it looks like on the inside.
You'll have to do that sometime.
And on the exhaust, it isn't so bad, but like if you're doing like pre-turbo stuff, any of that stuff will break off and go through the turbo or can go through the engine or whatever. This is after everything's already happened, but when you're doing like forced induction and you're doing a tube beforehand, you're sending basically rocks through the motor. So, but we do it on everything, so just better. Get used to doing it and do it. It wastes gas. Well, it doesn't waste it, but it uses more gas, but it's worth it in the long run. So it's we're using the Borla Pro XS mufflers. We're doing a straight in, straight out, 2.5 inch. So basically now we're getting one side laid out, make sure it's going to clear fuel lines, all this stuff. This is the hard side. So then we will move to that side, duplicate this exact same thing. And then from there, we'll do our mounts, get this all hanging, then build the tail sections, or the tailpipe section. But this side is the most critical shape to get past everything. And then we'll duplicate whatever that is on this side so they look the same.
Are we going over the rear end?
We're going over the rear end, over the panhard, under the gas tank, and into a section that exits through the roll pan. So we have the back section made, we have the front partially made, we got to join them in the middle. So, but that was delegated by how they built the back end, and then the front's delegated by the headers, so we're basically building in between. But yeah, no, it's all good. We are populating the engine with the wiring harness that we were lengthening, and we are figuring out exactly how everything has to route to be hidden, and we will, add or subtract length from here. but we're basically laying it out where nothing on the engine will be, well, as much as possible on the engine won't be seen. So we've got covers to cover everything up. So we're routing the wires. You know, some of the wires are 6 inches too long, some are 14 inches too long. So we're just kind of connecting everything and pulling everything back so we can make it nice and clean and loom it, and you won't see any colors of any wires or anything like that. Everything will be just sanitary. Or we'll color the ends of the wires black under the loom. If you needed to see what color it was, you could peel the loom back, but when you look at it, you don't want to see reds and yellows and greens and blues and purples and all that stuff. In case you do see a wire, it's clean. That's what we normally do around here, just to make things show quality and nice. So that's basically what we're doing now that this is in. We can lay out everything, figure out where everything's going, transmission plug, O2 sensors, everything, and route it so it's sanitary and clean and there's nothing hanging or nothing's looped up or any of that stuff. So just trying to keep it clean.
So this is what we call our James Bond panel. This has got all our controls on it. We don't put anything under the dash or anything like that anymore. So whether it's a car or a truck or whatever, if this was going in a car, it'd be in the trunk. Going in a truck, it's behind the seat. As you can see, it mounts the fuse box. This is the big fuse box that runs everything. American Auto Wire there. This is the computer for the Ford. This is the Vaporworks system. And these are all the little boxes for the Dakota Digital stuff. This runs the gauges. These are all different options. Then we mount our relays. Of course, we can never guesstimate how many relays we need, but we put a little relay section there. Then we do dimple die holes so the wires can dive all down. Keeps the panel nice and clean, so that the interior shop, they'll build a panel over this that matches the interior, and then there'll be an access hole. When you pull that access panel down, you can see everything. You can get to all the codes, or you can change stuff, check your fuses, everything, without having to bend down underneath the dash. I'll have Tim follow me over real quick. We're just now setting this up, so I got a lot of wiring to do. I'll do some bench wiring right here, connecting different things, and then we'll have to put it in the car and wire it into the car with all the additional wires.
So you're just getting everything laid out before you install it in the truck?
Yeah, we had to lengthen everything because we moved the computer from the front fender well to behind the seat. So everything had to be lengthened. So some of it's a little long. Everything's numbered. There's like 74 wires that have to be lengthened. And then there's some wires that we're not using, so I'm going to remove them from the plug so they never can touch anything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We removed a bunch of things we didn't need and just tried to keep the stuff we do need. So it's just mind bending. You sit here and just mess with wires, but it's what we got to do. That's what it takes to make it run.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more build videos like this, help us out by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. And it's a little thing to do, but don't forget to turn on those notifications. If you want to buy merch, go to store.classiccarstudio.com. See you next time.